We're going to review each removed vehicle featured back in Rockstar's new GTA 5 Online weekly update. We have 8 that were brought back into the game for purchase this week, and while they are all very unique, they're also all at the very least pretty good at their intended purpose, and many are worth purchasing or at the very least checking out this week. In this video, you'll get a comprehensive review of the car's performance characteristics, whether it's top speed, braking, handling, acceleration, and more, and we're also going to talk about some of the more unique features or fun facts with these vehicles, like armor, weaponry, and other features like that. Welcome back to another removed vehicles guide in GTA Online. I do these every single week to cover the vehicles that are back in game for a limited time, and so if you like what you see, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are brand new and want to see more GTA Online videos like this. So we do have 8 removed vehicles for this week that are back into the game for purchase at various in-game vendors, 2 of which are also discounted, so those are the Ocelot Locust and the Ocelot Swinger. I won't be talking about these in this video because I did discuss them in my discounts buyer's guide that I uploaded yesterday, so you can find that video linked down in the description below if you want to get the performance reviews of the Locust as well as the Swinger. But moving on to number 1, we do have the AMIGOS Paragon R, which is for purchase for $905,000 at the LS car meet. This is a top tier sports car in my opinion because it has really good acceleration and a really good top speed. The handling is also very solid because it is all-wheel drive, and so it's going to be super easy to navigate through all the city traffic with, especially when you fully upgrade it. However, the armored AMIGOS Paragon R is available by completing the casino story missions as like a bonus unlock and a bonus reward, and with that one, you get that same great speed and handling as the normal AMIGOS Paragon R that's featured back, but you get the added bonus defense capabilities with it. It will withstand 1 explosive hit, and it also features bullet-resistant glass, and it also comes equipped with front-facing machine guns, which are similar to what you'd find with other vehicles. Although the armored Paragon R's guns are less effective against heavily armored targets, the overall performance and extra security that it gives you makes it, I think, a more valuable choice for players out there who can complete those required missions to actually unlock this car. So do I recommend you buy the standard Paragon R at its current price point of $900,000? I would say it might be worth spending that extra $600K more to acquire a casino penthouse if you haven't already. You'll make back almost $1 million of that cash just by playing through the missions and getting the missions done with like a first time completion bonus that you get that Rockstar gives you. And then of course you'll unlock that armored version for free compared to spending $900,000 for the standard variant of the Paragon R this week. Moving on to number 2, we have the Bravado Verier for $695,000. This is another car that's available at the LS car meet, and this car combines a high top speed with good enough acceleration and excellent handling. It's got really responsive controls for sharp cornering, but it is going to suffer some speed loss on those tighter corners and turns. The durability is also limited here on this car because it is prone to significant crash deformation just from a few small crashes, and the Verier also has a unique engine sound, though that's sort of like a modified version of the Rapid GT or the Exemplar or even the F620, so you know it has that nice distinct exhaust note, and it also features design elements reminiscent of the Wiseman GT MF5 or even the TVR Sagaris, so you get an iconic looking car in this game. Overall, very solid choice for your garage if you kind of like the look of this car and you want to drive it around for yourself. Moving on to number 3, we have the Pegasi Batti 801 RR that's for sale for $15,000 at Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsport. We do need to get one important anecdote out of the way before we start talking about this bike. Despite what many players think, maybe too many players think honestly, this bike has the exact same performance as the normal Batti 801. Do with that information what you will. The Batti 801 is an unbelievable bike in this game. For only $15,000, you get one of the fastest motorcycles in the game, and you also now have a bike with exceptional handling characteristics that allows for quick directional changes and sharp cornering at ultra high speeds. The bike also has great braking, and while the traction is going to be generally good here, particularly when you take those corners really fast, you still can lose control if you do a stoppie, so be careful when attempting that. A small tip if you want to mitigate that problem though is just outright avoid doing a wheelie before you do a stoppie. Also, because this bike has such superb acceleration and top speed, the normal Batti 801 as well as the Batti 801 RR are highly recommended for races and more importantly time trials in the game. When it comes to bike time trials, I'm usually using this bike or the Western Power Surge, or the Nagasaki Shinobi. You just can't beat it at this incredibly cheap price point when you have 90% of the performance of those other bikes I just talked about. Moving on to number 4, we do have the Lampad Viseris, which is available for purchase at Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsport for $875,000. This is just a very strange car to drive in my opinion. It's not bad, but it is strange. It underperforms compared to its peers in terms of overall driving dynamics because I do find it does have mediocre traction and you may spin out a lot when you try and take a turn. The top speed is also just average here I find, but with full upgrades it can surpass some of the slower high-end supercars in the game. The suspension can also be slammed to make it just a little bit better at drifting, and I think that's what sets this car apart from the rest of the Sports Classics vehicles, since you wouldn't really expect to see any of them being like really good at drifting, but this car actually is, so that's what I find pretty neat about it. Another fun fact, the Viseris also features 2 front-facing machine guns, so you get that same decent firepower against players, or just normal enemies, or even lightly armored vehicles that you would get with the Armored Enough Paragon R, or any other Imani Tech vehicle, or any other car out there with those front-facing machine guns, but of course, they're just going to be ineffective against heavily armored targets. They're not super heavy-duty weapons, but they do come on this vehicle, and so that's really cool. Next up, we do have the Vcar Warner, that's again available at Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsport for $120,000. This car honestly has pretty impressive acceleration and a pretty high top speed for its class since it's featured in the sedans category. It's not fast overall, but I would say for the sedans it is kind of quick. However, it does have really high torque as well, so you're going to be extremely prone to spinning out with this car, especially if you push it to its limits. You have to be cautious if you want to maintain control. Despite the fact that you're going to encounter traction issues when driving though, this car handles responsively and it also stops very quickly because it's super lightweight and it also has strong brakes. You can even add a spoiler if you want to give it a little bit more downforce to improve some stability here at those high speeds. And then the crash deformation is also kind of weird because the engine is basically invincible on this car, so without armor upgrades it's never going to die on you, but at the same time the whole body of the car also crumples basically into a cube and you just like lose pieces of the vehicle and all that. And so it's not like super durable for the body, but the engine I would say is virtually invincible, funny enough. Next up, we do have the Bifta, also at Simeon's Premium Deluxe Motorsport for $75,000. Believe it or not, in my Wednesday weekly update news video, I actually got some comments from players excited to see this car return, and I just couldn't believe it because it looks so cheesy and funny looking, but guess what? It's actually crazy good compared to how it looks. It's surprisingly adept at off-roading, it's got a cool dune buggy design, and the top speed is 108 miles an hour, so I'd say that's pretty fast. It has good acceleration that's going to be suitable for all sorts of off-road terrains in this game, but you are going to struggle severely with your stability on those bumpy landscapes, or if you try and rock crawl. It's not a rock crawling vehicle, obviously. It has no ground clearance, but just keep that in mind. High speeds as well, you're going to spin out or even roll over. The brakes also suck, unfortunately, and then the handling in general, I would say, is just a weak point because it has a short wheelbase. And of course, since it is more of like a dune buggy style vehicle, you're totally exposed, so you can just get gunned right down if you're driving past someone who wants to kill you. With that being said though, honestly, everything on today's list is at least kind of cool to see featured back here into the game for a limited time. Each of these cars has their own distinct performance and quirks, so I think we have a nice diverse set of removed vehicles featured back into the game with this week's update. No telling on when any of these cars are going to come back into in-game vendors, so even if you think you may want to buy one of these, I would say just pull the trigger and get it because it's probably going to be a long time until we see some of these return. But with that being said, we're going to wrap things up right here. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed today's video, and if you did, hopefully I earned your like on it. And of course, if you are new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all the best Red Dead Online and GTA Online content, Rockstar Games content as a whole, then please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single thing we post here on the channel. Make sure to check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I live stream GTA and Red Dead several times a week. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next GTA 5 Online video. Adios, amigos.